Let's talk today about things that people don't tell you about manifesting. If I have noticed anything about the media and how they talk about manifesting, it is really not actually how it plays out. There's very much this idea in the media and certain people online that kind of go, oh, well, you know, these people that believe in manifesting, they just sit around and wish for things and think that they're going to turn up without doing any work. I don't think that's actually the case. And I also don't think that anyone who talks about manifesting or really lives it has that way of thinking. No one who does manifesting thinks that things just plop out of the sky. It's really not how it's done inside the manifesting community. I wanted to talk about all the things that they don't tell you about manifesting. Here's what they don't tell you about manifesting. It's really, really, really fucking hard. It is not just about wishing for things and writing them down and waiting for them to turn up. It's all to do with your mindset and staying in a kind of positive, optimistic mindset when it comes to things that you're trying to manifest. Be that money, relationships, jazzy new cardigans. It's very hard because it's hard to keep yourself in a motivated, positive, optimistic mindset. It's hard to do that. There is so much in the world that is constantly trying to challenge us that it's very hard to always be positive about, especially money. Money is the thing that stresses out most people. It's the thing that ends the most relationships. So to try and remain constantly positive and optimistic about money is hard. It's like going to the gym. You don't just master manifesting and then just chill. It's a constant practice. It's like yoga. It's like going to the gym. If you went to the gym and built yourself like a fucking Peter Andre six-pack and then you did nothing for a year, your six-pack would disappear pretty quickly. And it's exactly the same when it comes to manifesting. You have to constantly practice it and you have to constantly be forcing yourself to get into those routines of visualizing, of writing down affirmations, writing down gratitude lists, writing down what you're trying to manifest, thinking about it, actively doing things towards it. That's work. Okay, the second thing that people don't tell you about manifesting is it doesn't always work. It's not a silver bullet that, because I sat down and I did my visualizations of my new BMW, that you are just going to get a BMW. It doesn't always work. Yeah, maybe it's because you haven't been in the right frame of mind. Maybe it's because you haven't really been that positive or optimistic or looking for opportunities to make it happen. But do you know what? It also might just be because it just hasn't happened yet. That is sometimes quite hard to get your head around. I think, again, people from outside the manifesting community kind of go, well, but you're trying to manifest it, so where is it? And it's like, ha ha ha, it's not here, is it? And you're like, no, it doesn't always work. Just because I write a list of 100 things that I want doesn't mean that every single 100 of them is going to show up tomorrow. Some of them just aren't going to happen. Maybe because they're not actually that much of a priority to you, or maybe you haven't actively done anything to try and make them happen. Newsflash! Manifesting isn't just I write it down and then it comes to me. It's you write it down as a way to focus your mind and a way to focus your positivity and your optimism and your open-mindedness in looking for opportunities to make that thing happen. Stop! Right now, thank you very much. I need somebody with whatever the dance is. This is the QVC bit. I have a book. It's called The Money Is Coming. It is your guide to manifesting more money. It's essentially my 10 steps to getting into the manifesting mindset focused around money. Go get it if you want to get it. You can get it in my store, Boss Magic. You can also get this with a pack of Boss Magic Oracle cards and double it up. What I was actually going to say is please can you click subscribe and please can you click the thumbs up button and please can you leave a comment, just do all that shit because it's good for the algorithm. Along the way, if you talk about your manifesting and how you're getting into it, people are going to think you're batshit crazy. There's some people out there who really get it and they're just quite spiritual and open-minded and they're just going to be oh yeah, of course I understand it. It's just basically positive psychology and positive mindset. And then there's other people who are actually just going to think that you've joined a cult. They will not want to hear it. And when you try and talk to them about it, they've already decided their mindset. So when you try and talk to them about it or have a open-minded conversation, they're just not really going to be into it. I used to be very skeptical. I meet a lot of people who are are still skeptical. I think that's totally fine. You should be skeptical of things. I think what you don't want to then be is like so set in your mind that you can't hear another person's point of view. And that goes for you as well. Like if you're really into manifesting and somebody's challenging you on it, listen to those challenges, because sometimes those challenges actually present interesting food for thought. Let's be real. Manifesting is, oh wait, I wrote down a really good quote. Hold on. This came to me the other night and I felt like I needed to write it down. Manifesting is creating specific thoughts and mindset states to achieve an intention you have set. So it's basically just kind of like forcing yourself to think certain productive, positive and result-inducing thoughts instead of letting the negative thoughts and all that shit get in your head. You have to face bits of yourself that maybe you don't want to face. The shadow self. It's what they call it in spiritual language. And the shadow self is not like the bad in you. I don't think in binary. I don't think like there's good, bad, light, dark. You have to kind of face up to parts of yourself that may be like a little bit more negative, or maybe things that you have tried to kind of avoid confronting for a while, i.e. how you were brought up, potentially painful situations. Like if you had painful money situations growing up, you have to kind of be open to thinking about and talking about them. You have to confront parts of yourself where maybe you are making excuses for things, or you're not trying your hardest, and really pick apart like why that is. Do I feel like I'm not good enough? Do I feel like actually that person's doing better than me? Am I constantly comparing? Do I just feel like a shitty person? Like you have to confront all of these parts of yourself in order to try and maintain this positive, optimistic outlook, which is required to manifest. Don't get me wrong, you're never ever going to be in this positive, optimistic mindset 100% of the time. You're just not. I've been doing this stuff for years and years and years, and I still have to work at it. Going back to my first point, it's like going to the gym. You have to maintain it, but you do have to confront like these little corners of your mind that maybe you just rather sweep away under the carpet, because in confronting those things, it's going to help you move forward. It's going to help you achieve the things you want. And if you don't do that, you are going to find it harder in your manifesting practice. Just be ready. It's a journey and it can be painful. People just go, oh, manifesting, that's the easy way out. I just write down what I want and it comes from the sky on a unicorn. It's not that. It's really about personal development, self-development, understanding the way your mind works and why your mind is trying to play tricks on you, or trying to talk you out of doing things, or trying to stop you going for that idea. It's a lot, and it's a lot of deep inner work, and some people don't realize that and aren't ready to do that. Sometimes things show up not in the way you wanted. Like maybe you write down, or you've been visualizing like something that's going to happen, and then it shows up and you're like, oh, it showed up, and then you're like, that's not how I meant it to be. I.e. you could be like envisioning this BMW like over and over and over again, and then your car gets dinked by like a BMW or something. I had something written down in mine where it was like, I want to be interviewed for X magazine. It was on my list and I kept thinking about it. And then I had that magazine contact me for an interview, but it wasn't a positive interview. Like it was where they were like, we've heard there's this scandal about you and we want to interview you for it. And I was like, oh, ha ha ha. I see. Okay, so this has shown up in my life because I've potentially manifested it. But that's not what I meant, universe. I didn't mean it to show up like that. So sometimes things can just show up in like funny ways. I always find that really interesting because I'm like, oh, okay, all right, universe. Okay. Sometimes it just wants to play little tricks on you to be like, haha, see, I am listening, but you're not focused enough. Or you haven't put this intention out there in the right way. Or you haven't done the right things to activate this. So sometimes it feels like the universe, if you believe it's the universe, or whether you just believe it's coincidence, whatever, is trying to fuck with you. Things will show up, but not in the way you ask for them. I think that that's actually a positive thing, because I think it shows you're kind of like, oh, okay, so this is working, but I just need to refine what I'm doing here, because obviously it's not turned up in the way that I want. So thanks, universe. Thanks for that. Yeah, ha ha ha. You've got jokes. I'm gonna fix up that little way of thinking and make sure I get this nailed. The specificity is important.